Okay, he had been saying that he wanted to have a huge blowout party at the Rainbow on his 70th birthday. And it's his 70th birthday!
Yeah! Happy birthday!
Breathe. Do it.
All right, well, as you know, he had a long storied history with this restaurant from the 70s till recently, you know, his whole life. And this is a special place for him. And I am going to play a video in a bit that I'll let him tell you. And you need to pay attention or you will not understand all the gifts in your gift bag. So just so you know, it's kind of like a test. So I want to give a special shout out to the crew who made the statue, Global Effects.
Yeah.
The artist's name is Alfred Paradisi. Oh, I said it right. Woo! Right there in the hat. Yeah. Heath and Bryce, also a part of the team. And so thank you guys at Global Effects. I wanted Blackie Lawless to be here because he has a hilarious story about the first time that he met Frankie at the Rainbow. He was, you might have read it, but he was looted out, leaning up against the wall, and it was Blackie's first night in town, but his name wasn't Blackie yet. What was his name originally? Blackie Lawless's?
Nancy.
What was he? Who knows the answer to that? Blackie Lawless's real name. Steve what?
Duran.
I thought okay. Steve Durant. I thought it was something different. Anyway, I thought I would embarrass him, but he couldn't make it. But he did meet Frankie here for the first time, and so they also had a storied history here. But I'm going to ask Rudy Sarzo to come up and tell a story because he knows some good Rainbow Frankie stories. Here we go.
Yeah, Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy.
All right.
Rudy.
What's that karaoke machine? Okay.
Karaoke.
How you guys doing? I'm going to give you some bullet points so you get a reference of my friendship with Frankie, which started 49 years ago.
Wow.
Actually, next year is going to be 50. On my birthday in 1972, on November 18th.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1972 we met and we started playing together. And I mean, there's a lot of stories, that I really don't have the time, to tell you everything. But I will tell you this: we were in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, and we were. This is in 72, 73, this is when disco came in, and we were trying to play rock and roll in Florida, which was, kind of like next to New York. It was like the big disco world down there. So as a matter of fact, at one point, Frankie, because, whether disco was big or not, he was a huge James Brown fan. So Frankie saw the opportunity for him to start playing funk, disco, James Brown music. So he actually got an Afro wig and play with the band, And nothing lasts too long. And then, actually, there's somebody in the room who's actually known Frankie longer than I have, John Van Orden, right? And so we set up a strategy to leave Florida, and it was always like, okay, whoever gets out first is going to take care of the next, of the other one, and make sure that that we meet. So I wound up in Chicago, and at one point the drummer was out, and I called Frankie. So Frankie moved to Chicago. We played the circuit for about a couple of years, and we wound up here. 77, we were living together at Melrose and Sweetser, and we would walk every night to the Rainbow. And in 77, for everybody who was around in 77, they still have pay phones that you could go and look for for change. So we would collect change until we got to Kings Road on Santa Monica. There was a place called Mayfair supermarket, and we would go to the wine section and choose the best looking plain wrap wine box that we could find. And it was always a surprise because it didn't say Chablis or red or white, it just said wine. And this white box with blue letters, wine. And that would be like about $1 to pay that. So we started working on a buzz because we were starving musicians, you know. And one of the great things about the Rainbow that I look around, all you guys, and I mean, that was like Led Zeppelin's booth was back there, Deep Purple, The Who, the band Rainbow. So here we are, the generation that later on in the 80s became the new generation of musicians that were not starving anymore. But the Rainbow was always embraced us. Even if we were starving musicians, I think it's the same carpeting we have. It feels like it. It's really sticky. You know, and what we would do is do the walk. We would walk around, hoping that somebody would invite us to sit down and maybe have one of the cinnamon buns that were so tasty, or a slice of pizza, or network with other musicians. So we would do that every single night. I mean, there was no social media. This was it. This was our social media. The reason why you came to LA was to come to the Rainbow and network if you were a musician from out of town. And I see a lot of faces that we all went through the same thing, and thank God we made something out of ourselves. Thank God for that. And but I got to tell you a story. At one point, we met Ringo Starr's assistant. And at the time, Ringo was filming Cavemen. He was out of town. She was all by herself, Sunset Plaza Drive. So he says, "Hey, why don't you guys come over and stay with me?" So I said, "Sure." We were homeless, you know. So we wound up staying at Ringo's house, and it was beautiful. It was really nice. And one day, Ringo comes back, and he decides, I'm going to move out of here, and can you guys help me move? And so we helped Ringo move out of this house to this other place. It was actually on Woodrow Wilson. It was Mama Cass's old house. She had passed away at that time. And so we helped him move, and we get to hang out with Ringo, and we're like, you know, being huge fanboys. And so he gives us $20, and we're like, oh my God, we got $20. But this is a special Ringo $20. We can never ever spend it. So that night we came here, we had pizza and drinks, thanks to Ringo. You know, and what's great about being here talking to you guys about this is the fact that there's going to be an unveiling. Can you say what it is? Yes.
It's a statue of Frankie.
Okay. So I can say that. Okay. So what's really fitting is that Frankie symbolizes every single musician that wore this carpet. Because this place gave us hope and faith. It was going to happen.
I'll be ready.
Beautiful,
By the way, Frankie's with us tonight. Just so you know, his urn is at the table. So he's here.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving him here. He's coming home. He's here tonight. So I think I'm gonna set up the video now. James, are you ready to play it? Yep. Okay. Remember, pay attention.